Greetings, everyone. My name's Donna Gilliland. If you don't know the difference between relative and absolute formulas, this is the video for you. It'll be short and concise, and this is foundational to you being able to effectively create any formula, whether basic or advanced. So let's get started. First, the term relative means that Excel is going to update your formula relative to where you copied to. So let's start with that one first. In this simple one, it's going to be grand totaling these quarterly values for one person, which is Matthew. I'll take the easy route, which is auto summing. I'm in the cell I need to be in. Double clicking auto sum just bypasses you having to see the formula because a single click would show you the formula. So here it is, but what is that formula? I'll double click. Matthew Bright's record is in row 6. Keep that in mind. But his values specifically are in a cell range C6 through F6. Okay, that's row 6. When we copy that formula down, the next one is for Marilyn. Marilyn's record is in row 7. That means that Excel is going to update the row record that's referenced, not the column. We're in column G, but we're not changing column position. We're not copying across, which would put us in H. We're copying down, and you're changing row position. Therefore, Excel, again, as I said, will change the row position. Now, I'll go ahead and press enter to get back here to where it was. Now we're going to copy it down. And before we get into absolute referencing, I just want to remind you of a tip for copying a formula vertically without having to copy and paste. And this only works if you're copying vertically. So I want to copy that formula all the way down to Allison. Now, in this double click method, when you go to the lower right corner of any cell, there's a small square. And when you approach it, you get a cross-haired symbol. And that's the symbol that you know that you are in autofill mode when you double click. And because I double clicked, it copied everything down for me and all the way through Allison White. Now I'm going to go look at Marilyn's total. Marilyn's in row 7, and here's the formula for Marilyn. And when I double click, look, it has defaulted to changing the row position relative to where I copied it, which is in row 7. Now that you've got the idea, what about those times when you don't want Excel to default to changing a row or changing a column? And that's what we have in the sales commission. The sales commission, what they get is over in cell B1, 8.5% is what they get. And we're going to take each person's grand total and multiply by that cell location, B1. But remember, when you're copying vertical, you are changing row position. So that means that when I copy down for Marilyn's, B1 is going to become B2. And right now in B2 is 10,000. And the way that you instruct Excel to not relatively change a row or a column is by using a dollar symbol. The dollar symbol is the symbol that Excel recognizes as meaning absolute. And here's how this one's going to work. And this is going to be what's called a mixed reference. And I'm going to stop for a second just to say that understanding terms is very important in using Microsoft Excel. So we're going to create a mixed reference. And that just simply means that one part needs to stay relative, meaning it will change when copied, and one part needs to be absolute, meaning don't change the reference to that cell. Here's how it works. All right, I'm going to have to type in an equal sign to tell Excel we're doing a formula, and Matthew's total is in G6. So it's picking that up, equal G6. Let me change the color here so you can see better. Just one moment. And I'm glad you're staying around to learn this because it's a very important part, foundational part of creating any formulas, as I said before. All right, so here we go, equal, and we're going to click G6 Matthew's grand total and multiply using the asterisk. After you put in the asterisk, I want to multiply by B1, and I'll click. There's B1. But based upon relative referencing, on the way down, G6, which is what Matthew's total is in, will become G7, which is great. That's where Marilyn's total is. But B1 would also become B2. You need that row record, the 1, to remain absolute, non-changing. That means I need a dollar sign, and where you place the dollar sign is important. So if you're taking notes, the dollar sign always needs to be to the left of what you're trying to absolute. In our case, we need to absolute the row changing so that it doesn't change row position. Otherwise, B1 would become B2. You can either use function key F4. I'll demonstrate that. F4 is a hotkey to absolute both sides. And then when you press F4 again, it just cycles the dollar sign to where you want it. But you don't need it to be absolute referenced on the column side. Not that it would make a difference when you copied it down, to have it in both places, because Excel's only going to focus on changing the row number because you're changing row position. But it needs to be B$1. Now Excel has an instruction not to change row 1 to 2, 3, or 4. And then when I press the enter key, this is the sales commission for Matthew. Now I'm going to copy it down using that shortcut. Again, remember this shortcut of double-clicking the autofill square only works if you're going vertical. Otherwise, if you were going column-wise, you'd have to click and drag across. All right, here we go. There are the totals. Now let's see. Marilyn is in row 7. We're going to go to the sales commission and double-click to open up the formula. And up in the formula bar I'm pointing to, it does pick up row 7, relatively, as it should. But the dollar sign in front of 1, Excel has the instruction piece of don't default to row 2, row 3, row 4 with that formula. Get the idea? Because, again, if you didn't do that, then because of relative referencing, it would pick up B2, and B2 is a bonus threshold. Below that, it would pick up B3, and nothing's in that, so something times nothing is nothing, and you would get a 0. So hopefully you get the idea. So now you know what the differences are between relative referencing, that's always the default behavior in Excel, and you needing to instruct Excel to absolutely not change a specific row or column position when the formula is updated when copied. And I hope that helps. And if we haven't met before, my name is Donna Gilliland, and I have been teaching Microsoft Office technologies, among other technologies, for 25 years. And so I've been doing this a long time. I hope you will take time to subscribe to my channel for future updates, and I do upload videos from time to time, and feel free to make a comment or ask a question on the video. And that's it. Until next time.